Guys, I wanted to say today is October the 19th and we're having fried green tomatoes out of our garden. Our garden produced so good this year. Our corn didn't do that great, but we had a really good harvest from our garden on almost everything else. And so I thought I'd fry green tomatoes 100 times before now, and I haven't. And this is the last. I have 2 little lone tomatoes that are ripening on the windowsill, and I thought, okay, these last few little green ones, this is actually 2. They are going to be fried green tomatoes. So this is just some salt, pepper, panko breadcrumbs, and flour. This actually is going to get steamy. Let's see if we can get it here. This is our last batch of garden green beans. We had one more after what I thought was the last. We ended up having one more picking. So these, I strung and broke these this morning. Got those cooking up here in the front. That's why everything's so steamy. We got all kind of good stuff going on. This is some chicken broth and 1 boneless skinless chicken breast that I cooked up, and this is going to be dumplings. I'll show you that in a second. And then over here are my potatoes for mashed potatoes. So I have made chicken dumplings on my channel before. I can link additional videos below, but I'll show you one more time today how I make mine. But first I'm going to turn these tomatoes. Got those all turned. This is just frying up in some bacon grease. I actually fried some bacon and had the grease left over, and that's what I'm using to fry those up in. I have showed these on my channel before. This is a friend of mine, a lady that I used to go to church with. She wrote this cookbook. It's all her recipes. I've made this one for years and years, and it works great for me. So 2 cups of self-rising flour, 3 tablespoons of Crisco, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and some milk. Cut the Crisco into the flour and the salt until crumbly. Add enough milk to make thin, but thick enough where you can drop from a spoon. So I'll show you what mine looks like after I get a little milk in it. Here is my flour, my Crisco, and my salt. Okay, so this is about what I'm going for. I don't want it real runny, but I don't want it real thick. So that's about what I'm going for. I think the trick is using my little cookie scoop that you scoop and hit the lever to release, and I'll show you when I'm getting it into the broth. Going to finish getting these in the kettle and let them cook away. Alright, and here I am just gently stirring the dumplings. I usually don't do anything to move them around until after they've been in the broth for a little while, and I just kind of want to gently move those around to make sure everything is getting under the liquid at some point. Alright, here's a look at my plate. It's all steaming. My dumplings, they turned out perfectly. Creamy mashed potatoes, garden green beans, and I think these might be just a different variety. They almost look like, with the dark bean, like a Shelly bean, I'm not sure. But they're really good. And then fried green tomatoes. So that is what we're having for a good country supper tonight. Alright
right, and for dinner on this night, we are having meatball subs. I have not made these in forever. I have not eaten these in forever. Sometimes the mood just strikes you for something different. And I just knew early on I kind of wanted some meatball subs this week. So I had this bag of meatballs from Aldi. This is a very quick meal to get on the table because I am taking the help here from the grocery store with these pre-made frozen meatballs. I have my sauce, my cheese, and some hoagie rolls, and that's pretty much what you need to pull this together. Alright, what's great about these, you can cook them various different ways. You can do the oven, the stovetop, even it says you can do it in the microwave. I'm going to go with the stovetop and just let it cook in my marinara. Trying to decide here, do I use the whole jar or do I not? And I decided yes, the whole jar. And you can see here the meatballs are in, and I just put them on a very low heat. Just let them cook slowly, keeping an eye on them. And you can see here after a little while the sauce really reduces down. It just gets really, really thick. Makes for the perfect sauce to be on a meatball sub. Alright, like I said, I haven't done these in a long time, but I decided that we would use a little bit of Duke's mayonnaise on ours, so I'm going to put just a thin layer here on each of these sub buns. That'll just give it a little extra flavor. And I also just want to say thank you 100 million times over. I have reached 4,000 subscribers. I'm actually over 4,000 at this point. I cannot thank you sweet people enough for every one of you that have clicked the subscribe button. So fun to see my channel growing. Alright, now we are going to start layering on the meatballs. I don't know how many I put on here, but just until it filled the bun to where I thought it looked like about the right amount. These sub buns were really, really good. I got these at Aldi. They were just perfect for this. And look how good those look. And of course, topped with cheese. What's not to love? Good meatball sub. I put these under the broiler, and you can see that it got a little toasty on that side, but it was just fine. The cheese was melted perfectly, got a little golden brown on the top, and we just served this with some chips on the side. And I also made just a large salad for us to share. I want to mention these chips real quick. This Cuban style sandwich potato chips. Those are from Kroger. So good. You should try those if you have a Kroger. And yeah, there's our salad. We shared that, and this was a really delicious meal and a very quick one. Well, good morning from a Saturday. I just decided that I was going to have a cozy morning. I was up extra early this Saturday morning, and I had the Autumn Cozy channel going on my TV and a candle going. It was just so quiet and peaceful. And after I had a little quiet time, I decided for this Saturday morning I was going to make breakfast. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to film this and put it in the video. It's not often that I do get to make breakfast on Saturday morning, so we are doing it today. I keep in my refrigerator this little container that I keep leftover bacon grease in because you should never throw that out. You always need it for something. So after I fried my bacon, took it out of the pan, I needed just a little bit more grease in the skillet here to make gravy. And I'm making a little bit of a different kind of gravy today. It's another reason I wanted to film that and show that to you. So we're going to season up here salt, pepper, and we're going to get our flour in. And I don't measure anything out when I'm making gravy. I just kind of eyeball it. That's probably about, I don't know, a third a cup, maybe somewhere around there. And sometimes I'm really in the mood to let it cook and get really dark, almost to the point of burnt, because it makes a darker gravy, and I like that. My husband likes that. So sometimes I do that. Today, I'm maybe somewhere in the middle. So this may look like it's too dry, not creamy enough as far as just the flour and the grease consistency, but it's going to be fine. I've been making gravy for a whole lot of years now, and it usually turns out okay. It's not the same way every time, but it still comes out okay. In the meantime, I did make the homemade biscuits. I have made those on my channel before. I like to follow the recipe that I found from Moss Family TV. And here they are done. I'm just putting some butter on the top, and I'll put them under the broiler for a minute to get a little more golden brown. Back to the flour, you can see here that this mixture has cooked and it's gotten darker, and I am ready to add in the milk. Now, I generally like to make my gravy. My favorite way is with a can of evaporated milk, but I had a gallon of milk that I needed to work through, so I just decided to use regular whole milk today. And here is where it gets a little bit different than my normal sausage gravy. I am using a can of corned beef. I like to buy these at Aldi. They have the best price. We like this just sliced up and fried with eggs, but we also like it in gravy. And I haven't made this way in a long time, many years, but it just sounded good today. So I have sliced off a piece just right off the top. I'll get the rest of it out here shortly, but I went ahead and sliced off the top, and then I'm just kind of crumbling this into my gravy. It's kind of a bigger crumble because this will almost, you know, reduce down to nothing. So I don't want it to be so small that I can't actually see that it's in there. So just kind of chunky sizes, and I am going to let that cook as my gravy is thickening. Next, I'm going to fry up a couple of eggs, and I'm telling you, these just made the worst mess ever. I'm not really a mess, but they just, one of them went everywhere, and the egg yolk broke, and I guess they don't always come out perfectly, but you'll see here this one just kind of did its own thing. But that's okay. They tasted delicious anyway. Back to the gravy. Look at this. It's gotten thick. It's just boiling away. And the biscuits have browned up. And we are just about ready to make plates. Look at that. So like I said, the corned beef really does kind of cook down. Now, whether it's chunky or not, you still get such a delicious flavor from the corned beef. And we really enjoyed this on this Saturday morning. So here, as we look at our plates, an egg, a biscuit with some gravy on it, some sliced tomato, and a couple pieces of bacon. This made for a great Saturday morning, and I thought I would share it with you. Very last meal I'm going to show you in this particular what's for dinner. We grilled up some brats and some hot dogs. We love brats. We don't eat them super often, but every time we do, I think we should eat these more. So good. I did some peppers and onions. There are buns. I made some homemade potato salad and some baked beans, and I'm going to show you how I made both of those here in just a second. Now, you want to come back for the next video. I'm going to show you how to make that cake. It's called a pumpkin earthquake cake, and that might be one that you want to make for your Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm going to show you that on the next video when I show you all of the pumpkins that we harvested out of our garden. There's our little plates. I'm a huge Charlie Brown fan, so of course I love the little Snoopy napkins. So I'm going to get started here showing you how I made this potato salad. I don't make my potato salad the same way every time. I don't follow a set recipe, but I generally do most of the same things every time. So those are all of our, all those potatoes are from our garden. I put in some onion, which is also from the garden. I diced up some dill pickles, and then now I'm just adding in some garlic powder. And a gal that I used to work with years ago, she always put celery salt in her potato salad, so I like to always sprinkle just a little bit of that in. It's a strong flavor, so you don't have to have a whole lot of it. I'm going to put in just a little bit of mustard and some mayonnaise. I usually only make potato salad when we're having a crowd, or say when we're having family night. That's what this was tonight. This is family night, so all of our kids and our grandkids were here, so potato salad makes quite a bit. So I usually make that when I'm going to be able to feed a few people. Okay, y'all, I am shocked I never get it seasoned just right on the first run, but it actually tastes perfect and doesn't taste like it needs anything. Now, unfortunately, I forgot to boil eggs, so I thought I would have this mixed up and in the refrigerator and done, but I will boil my eggs and get those added to it because I just forgot. And then I will probably sprinkle a little bit of paprika on the top for color, and I'll probably sprinkle a little bit of parsley flakes for color, and maybe a little black pepper. You didn't see me add salt because I boiled my potatoes in salted water and they did not need any extra salt. So this is an A+ from the start. I just was in the mood for potato salad. And leave a comment below, do you like warm potato salad, like when it's fresh made like this? I want to get out some and eat it because I love it. All right, so there's the potato salad. And now for the baked beans, I'm using a can that are already flavored and then just a can of pork and beans. I'm not leaving a recipe below for the potato salad or the baked beans because I don't follow one. I just do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, whatever mood I am in, or maybe what even ingredients that I have. So I'm not going to put a recipe below. You can just see here how I have put these together on this particular night, and they were both really delicious. Okay, now that I have everything in there and everything's kind of stirred around, I'm going to give it just a little taste, just depending on the brand that you buy or the particularly seasoned type. I like to taste it to see if it's sweeter or not sweet enough. This time I needed to add just a little bit of brown sugar. I like it to be a little bit sweet on the baked beans. Next, I'm starting just a foil pack. I'm using a little bit of cooking spray on a piece of aluminum foil. I'm adding in my green peppers and onions. I really miss my garden produce already. These were all from the garden, and there's nothing like just going out there and picking off what you need and putting it in your recipe, you know, to serve up for your family. I absolutely love having a garden. So there we have it, a little foil packet that will cook right on the grill with the brats. That wraps up this week of What's for Dinner. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you've not. I'd love to have you around here as part of my YouTube family. And I also want to say, don't forget to come back so you can see this delicious pumpkin earthquake cake. It is really, really, really good. All right, guys, thanks again, and I'll see you the next time with another brand new What's for Dinner.